Good morning. Welcome to Unity, and thank you for joining us this morning for a few moments of quiet grounding, remembering our true selves, our inner selves, our higher selves, letting go of all the busyness of the day and our busy lives and just connecting. So we begin by relaxing our bodies. And you can do that by concentrating on your breath as you draw in and release your breath, and drawing in and releasing your breath. And as you release, allow your shoulders to slump. Allow your jaw to drop. Allow your scalp to relax, your neck to relax, your shoulders to relax, your arms and fingers to relax. And I suggest you let your hands lie lightly on your lap and put your feet flat on the floor so that your physical body requires no attention from you. It is at rest, it is open, receptive. And now just allow your breathing to clear and relax your mind. Open your mind. Release all thoughts that have been sitting in there. Just allow your breath to be like a gentle wind blowing through, and gently blow away all thoughts, all cares, all worries. And imagine your mind stretching, opening to receive. So we're going to sit for a few moments quietly watching our breath. If our minds try to think, that's all right, just allow them to think without becoming attached to the thoughts. Just thank you for sharing and returning to an awareness of the breath. Or if you choose to repeat a word or a mantra that will bring you back to focused thought, please do that. Just sitting, breathing, allowing our breath to relax, and allowing ourselves to slip gently into the silence. I invite you now to bring to mind the image on the screen, the image of a grove of trees, and imagine yourself sitting or standing at the base of that grove of trees. Breathing in the air, being aware of the smells, being aware of the freshness of the air, being aware of a gentle breeze. And open your ears now to hear the sounds around. Perhaps chirping of birds or the cawing of a raven, buzzing of insects, rustling of trees in the wind. And lift your face now up to the sun, seeing through the leaves as they dance in the light breeze and the patterns they make, and the blueness of the sky beyond, and the warmth of the sun. And once again, slipping gently, gently into the silence. And if your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath or to your mantra or word. In this silence, in this connection with Divine Mind, we receive inspiration, ideas, solutions, and healing. Open yourself to these now. And now we express our gratitude. Gratitude for these trees, for the air that we breathe, for the oxygen that is released by these trees as a gift to us. for our ability to release carbon dioxide as a gift to the trees. Gratitude for the gentle wind and the warm sun. Gratitude for the animals. Gratitude for the unity teaching which empowers us. Empowers us to be aware of our connection with the divine and our ability to heal, to solve, to learn, to progress, to share, to choose. And we choose peace, peace of mind, peace of body, peace in our world. And we choose beauty. We choose to see the beauty in all situations, knowing that is always an option for us. We choose grace. We choose integrity. We choose generosity. And we choose joy. And in deep gratitude now, we surrender our attention, our desires, our expectations into the law of mind action, turning it over, knowing that ideas planted in mind must express. And so in faith and gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. And so with a deep breath, I invite you to bring yourself gently back to time and place. And when you're feeling ready, just simply flutter your eyelids open. Look around you with a new willingness, a new sight, a new insight. Please stay on the line for Michael's music and our service to follow, and have a blessed, blessed day. Namaste.
Swing wide the doors, time is right, sorry. Swing wide the doors to let in the light, bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what my life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. And there's a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
I think this is going to be better. Yes, mic is on. Welcome to Unity of Vancouver Island. Let's begin our service by acknowledging that we are fortunate to live and work and celebrate on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish people. In Nanaimo here, it's the Nanaimo First Nation, and all over Vancouver Island, it's a number of nations. So we gratefully acknowledge that fact. And I just welcome you today. And my name is Margaret Tiveron. I am here because everybody else is somewhere else. And let's sing.
Yokoso.
Running round, fixing this and that, giving it up to God, then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more, so get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do its thing. You look like the weight of the world's on your back, so take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to, so get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do its thing. Gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant a seed, then dig it up to see if it's growing. Get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do its thing. One more time. Get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
now for something completely different.
I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desires so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything. You believe it, there's a power. Between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Don't you think it's time indeed? Let's take that sentiment into affirmative prayer. I invite you, if it feels comfortable, to close your eyes and allow your breathing to take you to a place where all of what's happening in this room disappears and you are aware of your unchallengeable connection with Spirit. We know the truth that love can build a bridge. We know the truth that we can connect with anyone and anything through the bridge of love. Because the bridge of love is the bridge of the divine. We know that around the world we acknowledge that there are countless things happening that make us feel that love is not there, whether it's climate change or political challenges with countries or war, pain and suffering and illness, and emotional challenges of our own heart or those of other people. we know that it's all an illusion. We know that there is only love. And we know that the way to transform the way we see something is to see it through the eyes of love. And we see ourselves choosing to take the bridge, choosing to build that bridge between ourselves and every situation. We choose to believe that we have the power to transform things with our love, with our breath, with our thoughts. And for a moment now, we breathe in love, and we breathe out love to whatever situation seems to be troubling us. And we know that this simple act, which we can do any time and any place, makes a difference. We know that it sends our love in whatever form it's needed to wherever it's needed. And we are so grateful to have this power and this opportunity to bless and to be a blessing. And we give thanks for the love that surrounds us and surrounds everyone and everything. And so it is. Would you please join me in saying the vision of unity? A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And now I'm going to offer some wise words by somebody who is recognized as being very wise in unity, Eric Butterworth. This is one of his, a book that everybody goes to and reads, and it has amazing wisdom in it, so I'm going to share something with you. Soren Kierkegaard, founder of existentialism, was strongly influenced by his own vision of the inner flow. He talked about an Arab in the desert suddenly discovering a spring in his tent, providing a constant flow of water in abundance. And he says that we have the same feeling of security and well-being when, after years of living from the outside, thinking that happiness comes from out there, we finally turn inward and discover the source within. It is probably true that most attempt to live their life from the outside in. Life is for them almost totally determined by what happens around them and to them. Ask them, how are you? And they are reluctant to answer until they consult the news of the day, check the Dow Jones averages, get the weather report, or appraise the mood of their family and office associates. The great truth taught by the mystics of all ages is life is lived from within out. This means that the whole universe is concentrated at the point where you are. More than this, you are the universe expressing as you. You are its enterprise. It forever stands behind you with its full resources. However, the fullness of this universal support comes through you, not just to you. The most profound knowledge that you can attain is that your whole existence flows forth inexorably from the universal process, which is always within to out. How widespread and deep-seated is the belief that we are forever in competition with the people and in conflict with the world around us. Our fears, resentment, anger, even grief come because we feel that the instability of life in the world is a threat to our existence in it. Jesus gave us the answer. The kingdom of God is within you. This is an amazing, absolutely amazing concept. The kingdom within us is the realm of all potentiality, all substance, all life, all love, all peace. Jesus said, "Do not be anxious about your life, but seek first the kingdom, and all these things shall be yours as well." In other words, get in the flow, and you will receive all that you desire and need.
Presence, there is just one light, shining in the world like a beacon in the night. There is just one power we all can share, one great power everywhere. One great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the stars up above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great spirit everywhere. There is just one purpose, there is just one spark, burning in our souls like a candle in the dark. There is just one chorus we all can sing, one great power, let it ring. One great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the stars up above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great spirit everywhere. One great power everywhere, one great power everywhere. Changing things up.
Don't you just love music? I'm absolutely crazy about music, and I'm thinking that so many of you are too, because it really, really inspires us, and it causes us to think and feel in ways that we might not otherwise do. And anyway, I wanted to tell you about this song, this great song by a group called Unspoken. This song is called Start a Fire. And I want you to hear these lyrics because it's all about the power of zeal, that inner drive we have, one of our 12 powers, to really move forward with excitement, with passion and aliveness. So listen to these words. Over and over again, I hear your voice in my head. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine for all to see. Oh, start a fire in my soul and fan the flame, make it grow. So there's no doubt, no denying. Let it burn so brightly that everyone around can see that it's you that we need, that starts a fire in me. Those words are really meaningful when we think about the power of zeal. And some of us don't relate to zeal because we think it's an outward expression of somebody having high energy and somebody who's very excitable, but really, zeal is one of our 12 powers, and it's that inner fire that lives and expresses in all of us. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, tells us that it is that upward propelling energy, that movement that moves us into achievement or action. It's that forward motion that we use for good. And so the power of zeal, when used spiritually, can be used to uplift ourselves, to bring us joy, to bring us aliveness. And certainly, we could use a little bit of that today, couldn't we? I mean, really, think about our world. And when I think about it, my heart just breaks when I think about the trauma, the real trauma of gun violence and the ugliness of hatred and racial injustice, prejudice. When I worry about the state of affairs in our economy and what's going on with that, Or as we all know, what our worries are about this coronavirus. I mean, there's so many things that are real heavy in our hearts today. And then add your own personal concerns or challenges. And we all have them in our own ways. And so when we think about the power of zeal, we not only do we look at uplifting our souls and our spirits and moving into that high energy and vitality, but we're not looking to escape the challenges that we know. We're not looking to pretend that they don't exist, because they are a part of our experience. But what we are doing is we are opening up a capacity to live from the wholeness and the fullness of our being. Or whether it's collective, the power of zeal lives within each and every one of us. It is that forward propelling motion, that energy of aliveness and joy and passion. And I think it has healing capacities when we draw it forward in times that are hard or in times that are challenging. And so I was thinking about how we might all ignite that inner fire, how we might come alive in our zeal. And two things came to me. The first is that we are called to really appreciate the ways that we live our zeal, because each of us lives it in our own unique way. We all have ways that we come alive, and what draws you alive might be the power of poetry, and what draws you alive might be music, or somebody else, it might be social action, or another person, it will be love of family. But whatever it is, we all can join in that feeling of where we feel really full, where we feel really open and centered and joyful and grateful in our beings. And we just get so excited whenever we are in and about that thing. And so when we take the time to really appreciate where we come alive in our zeal, that opens the door to the next step. And that next step is all about identifying our personal core values and then bringing them out even more fully. So let me go ahead and begin with that first step, which is about appreciating and celebrating the ways our zeal is already present. And somebody comes to mind that I don't usually think of, but for some reason, he really came to me, and that is Thelonious Monk, the great jazz legend. And I think about this wonderful man who really opened up and transformed the way jazz was heard and experienced in his day. And you know, he was 6 years old, and he heard his older sister playing piano. She was getting piano lessons, and he was just enthralled by the piano. And so he started to play himself. And by the time he was 13, he was going out to all of these places that had talent contests, and he was banned from joining any talent contests because he'd win them all. So that tells me how great he was as a pianist, even in his early years. And then later on, because his talents were so accelerated, he played with all the jazz greats. He was known to back up all of the jazz legends, but then he did something unique. He started to listen to that inner fire within himself, and he started to not play to support other musicians and other talented artists, but he started to play for himself. And as he did, he moved into his greatness, and he brought forward music that had never been heard or imagined before. And one of the things that Thelonious Monk said is this. He said, "Don't worry about what other people think you should play or what other people think you should do." He said, "Just be you. Play your music. And then he added, and if it takes people 15, 20, 25 years to catch up with you, so be it. And you know, I love that, because what he was saying is, ignite that fire within you in your unique way. Listen to how Spirit directs you to bring it forward. And then do that. How often do we have a gift or a talent or a passion? And how often do we hold back because we worry about what other people think? Or we worry, will the world appreciate us? Or we worry that it's not good enough. Well, Thelonious Monk is saying, listen to that spirit inside. Let that creativity come out of you and express it. Just be you. And I find that that message is really profound for all of us, no matter where we are in life. And so when I think about that, I'm also drawn to another example. And this is a woman that many of you may have already known as well. Her name is Dolores Huerta. She was a Latina civil rights activist, a labor activist that really came alive to her own inner calling when she was pretty young. You see, she started out at a time when there was a lot of prejudice and bias against women, and certainly against people of Hispanic origins and heritage. But she followed that voice inside, and she decided that she wanted to be a teacher and help children. But there she was. She had been teaching for only a couple months, and she noticed that the kids that were coming into her classroom were barefoot, and they were hungry, and they didn't have the resources that they needed to learn and to focus and to grow. And she said, I don't think this is where I need to put my energies. I think I would be more useful working to support migrant farm workers and support them to get a decent wage and to be seen and heard. And I will do more to make change in that way than to try to teach hungry children. Well, she followed that vision, that inner momentum within her, and she aligned with Cesar Chavez, and together they did a phenomenal work in the 1960s and beyond that to really make a difference, a profound difference for migrant farm workers. And I understand that even at 92 today, she continues on with her passion and her good work. And so I think for all of us to take a moment to really appreciate what has aliveness for us. Where is the goodness of who we are called to make the world better, to express ourselves, whether it's artistically, whether it's musically, whether it's with a skill or a talent, or whether it's to change the world. But whatever it is, we're called to really celebrate and to really appreciate what we do, and to do it to the best, to the very best of our ability. And that's activating and igniting that fire of zeal within. So that's the first step. That's the step I'd like you to start with now. But here's the second step, and that is to really identify and cultivate your own personal core values. Now, you might be saying, what do you mean? What is that? What's a personal core value? And I believe that it is the beliefs that you have that really align with your mind and your heart, combined with the way that you live your life. When you put those things together, you're going to see and know what your real personal core values are. You're going to see how you show up in the world and what draws your attention and what calls you forward in both your mind and your heart. And sometimes we identify our personal core values real early in life. Like sometimes you can know real on that you maybe had a moving experience or a transformative time that forever opened you up in a certain way. When I was 15, I volunteered on a crisis hotline. Now, I have no idea why anyone would let a 15-year-old girl volunteer on a crisis hotline. But for some reason, the people involved in this organization let me do it. And I was, of course, the youngest volunteer. But I was so drawn to what my personal core value is, which is to bring healing, compassion, and transformation to others. And so it started back then, and then after that, I started working in chemical dependency treatment centers. I devoted my life to mental health, the treatment of mental health. I became a psychotherapist. I worked on psychiatric units. And when I became a minister 13 years ago, of course, that work to bring healing, compassion, and transformation to others continues on. So I can see how my personal core value has been pervasive in my life. But here's another thing about personal core values. They can also change according to your own personal evolution or according to circumstance. And it was, I think it was about 3 years ago when I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, which was a pretty intense diagnosis to receive. All of a sudden, mortality was kind of right in front of me. And at that time, I made a decision, a very conscious one. I decided that I wanted to live intentionally. And so I came up with 3 personal core values. And the first one was to live from faith, joy, and grace everywhere. So I trained my eyes and my heart and my mind to always be on the lookout and always be attuned to faith, to joy, and grace. And then the second personal core value I developed was to live fully in the present moment. And so I stopped worrying about why couldn't I live like yesterday and what's going to happen tomorrow and how long am I going to live. And I started really slowing down my mind and my body to be attuned to what was happening in that present moment. And it kept evolving and changing. It opened me up to wonder and peace and delight in ways that I had never really experienced except for very transient times. My third personal core value was to love everyone. I mean it. Love everyone and everything. Now you can imagine, for most of us, we can say, oh, I love everyone, and we mean it rather glibly, or we say, but then there's this person, or this thing, or that thing. But I made a commitment to open my heart, to love everyone, and to love everything that was happening to me and through me. Truly, truly transformative. And so I paid attention to my personal core values at that time, and I will tell you that because of them, the overarching personal core value of being a presence for healing, compassion, and transformation got magnified. And I believe that what happened to me can happen to all of us. I don't think I'm so incredibly exceptional or anything like that, but I think the very same things can apply to all of us. And so in closing today, what I'd like to do is invite you to 3 different opportunities. First of all, I'd really like you to pay attention and appreciate what your passions have been, what your vocations have been, where you have felt tremendous joy, aliveness, and energy, and really notice what those things are. really pay attention. And you can write about them and journal them to explore them more fully, or you can talk to a friend about what you're discovering as you take time to reflect on those very things. And then the second thing that I would like you to do is to really pay attention to what your personal core values are. What are the things that you believe that make you come alive? And how do you spend your life expressing those very things? What do you want to be known by when you are thought of? And when you think about yourself, how do you want to be known? Those are your personal core values. And then take those personal core values, maybe you end up with 3 or 4, and then take the last big step. Turn within. Take some time that's quiet and reflective, and listen for that inner voice, that voice of spirit that lives within you or guides you in some way, and listen to how you can cultivate that inner fire and ignite it so that you are in alignment with what you think, with what you feel, and with what you do, and you go forward through the power of zeal as never before. When you do that, you will truly come alive in spirit, and it will be a blessing in your life. It will affect the people around you that love you and appreciate you. And energetically, your zeal, the way you ignite your fire, it will bless the world. And that is worth doing. Thank you so much for being with me in this way. I enjoy being with you, and I'm imagining that I'm giving you all a big old hug right now. I see you blessed, and I know you're going to go forward, like I will, to continue to ignite that inner fire. Thank you again, and namaste.
TV, there's a delay. It's on. I can just play
it. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Sanctuary for you.
Now let's take a moment to turn our gaze within. And allow your breathing to take you to a place where you are connected with the 12 powers and with zeal. Zeal is a power that we know when we see it. We know the joy of being alive when we see it in somebody else and when we see it in ourselves. And we're being asked, invited to take a look at the things that bring us zeal, bring us to life. And I invite you to take a few moments now to think about those things that bring you joy, make you feel alive, make you feel the energy of the divine and your connection with everyone. The talk mentioned music and poetry, but it can be anything. And you know in your heart what it is. Take a moment to engage with that in your mind and see yourself and feel the joy of participating in this activity or seeing or doing or whatever it is. Just take a moment to connect with that joy. And then take a moment to think about your personal values. What do you want to be known for? What are the qualities or the ideas that are so important to you? If you can, think of 3 or 4 that just really resonate with you as values that are deep drivers of your life. And then finally, think about how those can play out in your life in a bigger way, how you can ignite the fire. And take a few moments now to be silent, to listen, to turn within, and seek some guidance as to how you can amplify your passions and your values. Can you feel the joy of self-expression combined with your deeply held values? Can you feel yourself amplifying those in your life, bringing those to greater expression? And that is the expression of why you're here, the unique gifts that you bring to this universe. It is the way that you light up the world. And as we hold a vision, an idea of how we can do this, how we can express zeal more fully, we give thanks and we move into the world with joy, with purpose, and with zeal. So it is.
That's a really nice keyboard. So I like this picture. The kittens are also nice. Listening to that talk brought a couple of songs to mind. But when she mentioned Thelonious, I thought something jazzy might be appropriate. It was his birthday I think it was a week and a half ago, or would have been his birthday. And this song is called God Bless the Child, and it's all about, finding your own inspiration and such, so I think it fits nicely. Also a funny Thelonious quote to set the tone. When he would invite musicians in to record his music, he'd write these exceptionally complex compositions, and he'd invite them in, and they'd play through it once like it was like that's your rehearsal, right? You're in the studio, okay, let's run it once. And everybody runs it, and you're kind of figuring out, this is hard stuff, right? It's not standard fare. And they'd finish the rehearsal, they'd play it once, and they'd go, okay, we got it, and we're ready to record now. And he'd hand them a check and send them away. He goes, no, that was the recording. It's a true story. I mean, word got out, so people knew what they were in for, but... So there's something to be said about not being prepared. So here's or prepared in a more general way, I should say. This is God Bless the Child, made famous by Billie Holiday, if you want to check that out.
Oh, Nico, I think you may be getting close to finding something that gives you passion and joy.
I'm working on it. A couple more years. Couple more years.
So now we are going to talk about the fun things to do at Unity of Vancouver Island. First, there is going to be a Zoom call on November 2nd, that's Wednesday this week, at 7 p.m. Catch the visioning for our new building. I'm looking forward to being there to explore the possibilities, so I invite you to be there as well. The Zoom link is in the email from UVI. Unity Vancouver Island in Victoria, Monday Magic at the Met. This Monday, Monday 31st, October 31st, there will be a games day from 1 to 2:30. And if you want to wear a costume, that'd be okay. The following Monday, November 7th, also at 1 o'clock, will be a prayer circle. And on the 28th of November at 1 again is a YouTube presentation by Greg Braden. Celebration of Life for Beverly Wright, who was the choir director at Unity of Victoria. Sunday, November 20th at 2 p.m. Gorge Park Pavilion off Tillicum Road in Victoria. Details are in the newsletter again. If you want more information, it's there. Again, in Victoria, November 20th, there will be an in-service meeting, in-person service with Vicki Vandenhorst speaking, and it will be at the Oaklands Community Center, 10:30 a.m. A potluck next Sunday, November 6th at 12:30. It will be at the home of Linda King in Nanaimo, and directions will be provided if you're interested in going. Youth and Family Ministry invites the youth to discover the 4 powers of creativity. Saturday, November 12th, from 11 to 2, there will be learning, laughter, food, and celebration for young people from age 6 to 17. It will be hosted by Thomas DeShooter and his daughter Brooke. This should be an awesome event, and if you want more information, Thomas can send you a copy, a flyer. We don't have it here, but contact Thomas, or I guess contact Unity, and we can have a flyer sent to you, and we would appreciate it if you would promote this to the young people that you know. There is a new spirit group, which is an intention circle hosted by Yvonne Play. It will be at the center Sundays at 3 p.m. Oh, then the first one, I guess, is November 13th. Okay, first one's November 13th, and it goes from there. Ongoing events at Unity Vancouver Island, 2nd and 4th Tuesdays at 11 a.m. There is a prayer circle in Comox. Seated Tai Chi is in Nanaimo, Tuesdays at 10. A Course in Miracles, Thursdays at 10:30 in Nanaimo. First and third Fridays in Nanaimo is a board game night. And again, see the website for all of the information. We are very blessed at Unity Vancouver Island by the financial gifts that we receive, as well as the gifts of every other form. But we thank you for your talents, for your treasure, for all the love that you give to this center. If you would like for your love to come in the form of financial donation, you can send it to donations@unityvancouverisland.com or mail it, or I think there's a basket in the back of the room in which you can put donations if you're here. And today we would like to offer gratitude to our sound people, Brian Hazelbauer and Stella Newt. It looks like you were called on to do some extra work today, so I appreciate your help in making sure that presentation went smoothly. And then we have kids. We have 2 here. Are there any others?
There's 2 over there.
Oh, those 2. I thought someone into the other room. Okay. Welcome to all of the children. We're so happy you're here. And we have a blessing. We see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. Now, would you join me in the prayer for protection? The light that is God surrounds us. We are one with the light. The love that is God enfolds us. We are one with the love. The power that is God protects us. We are one with the power. The presence that is God watches over us. We are one with the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So it is. Amen.